Thank you, Em. Thank you, the MC. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good? Okay, that's great. And thank you so much for having me tonight. And finally, I can say, welcome to my TEDxLuong The Vinh speech. Okay, let's get started. All right, so before Miss Cosmo Vietnam 2025, I was a complete newbie. I did not have any background in pageantry, and I was not familiar with the stage, the spotlight, and the camera. So I asked around, what should I do? And people give me the same advice, that I need to stand out, that I need to shine, that I need to burn brighter than everyone else. And I believed them. I started to act tougher, to smile wider, to speak louder, and I tried to be fire. And then the Cosmo Cam reality show happened. It was a 10-day reality show where we was constantly being filmed and challenged in a very high-pressure environment. On the first few days, I burned brightly. But the more I burned, the more I felt empty inside. My heart wasn't glowing, and I felt exhausted. And if you rewind it to Cosmo Cam episode 2, you can see that there were some comments saying that I was trying too much and I was not being myself. People could see that. And that was the turning point. I stopped being fire, because if I being fire, the more I burn, I might burn myself out before I ever touch the crown. So how did I win? The answer is simple. I stopped being fire and I start flowing. I wanted to be water. One night during Cosmo Cam, alone in the bathroom, I looked into the mirror and asked myself, is this really who I am, or this is just someone that I think I needed to be? And that night, I cried a lot, not from weaknesses, but from clarity. I don't want to be fire anymore. I wanted to flow, and I wanted to be water. Cosmo Cam was full of chaos, opinions, and unpredictabilities. If you watch the Cosmo Cam on YouTube, then it was just 20% of the stress that we have to face in real life. But I stayed grounded. I knew when to speak, but more importantly, when not to. I did not fight every battle, just the ones that matter. I didn't try to control the storm. I flow with it, and slowly something shifted. While other people start to burn out, I found my own rhythm. I became the steady one. I became the calm in the chaos. And people start to trust me. They start let me lead. And anyone here watch Cosmo Cam, the last episode? Anyone? No? Yes, give me some noise. Yeah, okay. Yes, that's great to hear. There was 4 finalists out of 6 that were from my team, and we made it to the final challenge of Cosmo Cam. And I placed myself top 1 out of 45 very beautiful and talented girls. And people asked me, what was your strategy? What was your master plan? And I answered them, no, I was not gatekeeping, guys, but actually there was no master plan. Cosmo Cam wasn't about control. It was about who could stay calm in uncertainty, who could bend but not break, who could flow, adapt, and rise like water. Whatever came to my way, I asked myself one question: how can I make the most out of it? And I keep flowing. After Cosmo Cam, people told me, and there was comments saying that she's too quiet, she's too calm, she's not fierce enough. But I think there's a myth that power has to be loud. and leadership have to be forceful. To me, that's not true. Water to me is the strongest force in the world. Although water is not loud, but it cuts rocks. Water is soft, yet it shapes mountains. And the final night, here we have the final night. I still hear people whispering, said that, oh, she's nice, but she's too nice. She's beautiful, but maybe she's not as energetic as other Cosmo Queen. And if you compare myself to other Cosmo Queens like Miss Phương Han or Miss Khánh Vân, every time they walk into the room, they can lead up the room just by being themselves. They are very, very energetic. But I still won the crowns of Miss Cosmo Vietnam 2025 just by being myself. I came to the final night not to impress anyone, but just to express my true self. I did not speak to dominate, but to connect. I didn't try to outshine anyone. I was calm, I was clear, I was steady. I didn't compete, I flowed, and that's how I won. And to every woman or anyone out there that has been told that you are too quiet, you're too soft, you're not enough to lead, let me tell you one thing, you are not too much of anything, and you are exactly enough. Strength does not mean that when you cry, you stop crying. It means that when you cry, you keep moving forward. Power does not have to be forceful. It can show in the way that you hold yourself, in the way that you try to stay calm when the world around you tries to shake you. You don't have to harden to survive. You can stay soft and still be unbreakable. You can flow with grace and still carry the force to cut rocks and move mountains. And I won Miss Cosmo Vietnam 2025, not by pretending to be anyone else. I was just being deeply and truly myself. Not stone, not rock, not fire, but water. Water adapts, water moves, and water heals, and yes, water wins. Thank you. And right now, I am standing here on the stage trying to speak as confidently as possible. But when I think of the future and what's going to happen to me in the next couple of months when I will be representing Vietnam to compete with around 80, 90 other girls around the world, that idea shakes me, guys. That idea makes me scared. But I think that's going to be okay because I have my own strategy, right? Whatever came to my way, I will just try to make the most out of it, and I will just keep flowing. To conclude my speech tonight, I will quote from a legendary martial artist, as well as an icon of strength. And this is a fun fact. He was also an alumnus of the same university that I attend to, the University of Washington in Seattle. He said that, be like water, my friends. Soft, but unstoppable. Calm, but undeniable. Feminine, but powerful in your own way. Thank you so much. Thank you.